Well, there's actually this little moment that I share with people when I talk about my experience with chemotherapy. And it was the first day that I went in to my oncologist's office. And he sits me down and he says, "Derek, what do you understand about chemotherapy? What do you think we're going to go through here, over this time that we're going to be in this place together?" And I said, "Well, I have an idea because I've interviewed so many oncologists, but I've never had the perspective of being, in the chair attached to a drip." And he's like, "Well, let me put it to you this way. Picture you're an airplane flying high in the sky." Like, "Oh, okay, that sounds nice." He said, "Now picture that airplane's on fire." And I said, "Oh, okay." He said, "That fire is the cancer. And what we're going to do with chemotherapy is we're going to flood your body with toxins. And we're going to put that plane into a medically controlled nosedive." It's like, "Okay." He said, "And through the sheer velocity of sending that plane directly towards the earth, hopefully we'll put all the flames out. And it's my job, Derek, as your oncologist, to be the pilot of that plane and know when to pull back on the stick just before you hit the ground. And I'll pull you out of that nosedive. I'll take you up to a safe cruising altitude. We'll dust you off. We'll check to make sure that all the flames have gone out. And if they have, then fantastic. You'll be in remission. And if they haven't, we'll do it again. And we'll keep doing it as long as your body can handle the effects of the chemotherapy. And if we get to a point where your body can't handle the side effects of the chemotherapy and your body can't take more toxins, then we'll come up with another option." I start the chemotherapy process and very quickly lose my hair. And so as soon as I started losing it and the big clumps start coming off in the shower, I was like, I need to control this a little bit. So I shaved it, started shaving, started wearing the cap. And I really didn't want to know too much about anything else. I knew I wanted to get back to work, so I'd go work a little bit. And then, I'd go back into my oncologist for my chemotherapy treatments. Things changed. I changed. I got the nausea. I was on a lot of steroids, so I got the chipmunk face where I started swelling, and I actually gained weight through chemotherapy because I developed sores down my throat, and they itched. So the only way to actually scratch them was to pass food over them. So I'm one of those few people that actually gained weight on chemo. But I had incredible bone pain, and I was told that usually the younger the patient, the healthier the bone, the more the bone is affected by the chemotherapy process. And so therefore you can get bone pain. So I got the worst of my pain and the worst bone issue with my knees at the joints and at my hips. And at the worst moments, I told my wife that it felt like I was lying with my pelvic bone or my hips in a vice grip. And they were just cranking the vice grip and just pulverizing my hips. And I would just sit there and scream and punch the bed. And it was a tough time. It was one of those times that you would not wish on your worst enemy. And so I would, in the times that I would try and get up and walk, my hips and my knees were just so beat up that most of the time, if no one was around to get me food or a drink, I would have to do like an army crawl across my bedroom floor, down the hall, try and get downstairs to get to the kitchen to get whatever I needed. It was rough.